over a month ago, running backs are in a midlife crisis. And we brought up, like, Dalvin Cook got released pretty much, and he's looking for a new team. Saquon and his contract struggles trying to get a new contract with the Giants. The Giants aren't budging. Saquon's not budging. And then Josh Jacobs as well. He's trying to get a new contract. The Raiders ain't trying to give him the contract that he wants. And they're sort of in this impasse. Well,
Austin Eckler, too.
Austin Eckler. Well, fast forward a month later, present day, still happening again. And Kareem Hunt hasn't signed with a team. Leonard Fournette hasn't signed with a team.
Zeke hasn't signed with a team.
Zeke hasn't signed with a team. It's a lot of drama.
I think the only running back that signed his franchise tag was Tony Pollard. And he did that months ago.
Which, honestly, probably the best decision he could do. $10 million.
$10
million after injuring, season-ending injury like that.
I forgot what it was, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pretty bad. Not good for a running back. So he get your money. Get your money. It was 1 year, but get your money. But yeah, man. Running backs, they're in a midlife crisis. It's just the market is just not good for them. It's not going up. It's going down. So, just your thoughts on just the current state of running backs. And do you think it will get better, or is it going to get worse from here?
The only way I see stuff getting better right now is if the CBA, a new CBA will implement protections for running backs. Because the evidence is out there. The numbers are there. Like, I know it's a worker versus employer type scenario. And, majority of the fans, they would be for the players or the workers in this case. But, like, these teams, but the player actively impacts the team's success. So it's like, it doesn't really make logical sense to give running backs top dollar when they aren't pivotal to winning a championship. They're just not. Like, they're literally just not. Like, okay, let's look at this. Saquon Barkley. He was hands down the Giants' best player last season, hands down. Where was he against the Eagles?
He was non-existent. They stacked the box. He couldn't run the ball.
Exactly.
Daniel Jones was struggling as well.
And and even in the Vikings game, who was the best player? Wasn't even Saquon.
It was Daniel Jones.
Look at Josh Jacobs. He had what he had. He was the leading rusher in the league, right? How many games did the Raiders win?
Not a lot. They didn't make the playoffs, so.
Derrick Henry, arguably the best running back in the league. How many games did the Titans win?
They won like maybe 7 or 8. Didn't make the playoffs.
Now look at the Titans when A.J. Brown was still on the team and Derrick Henry was out. They were still winning games. They was getting not the same, but pretty good run production.
Yeah.
Versus look at the Titans without A.J. Brown but with Derrick Henry.
Make a great point. We'll see what D-Hop does with them. Might make them better. I don't know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it will. But and then let me see. Browns, Nick Chubb. I mean, he's got his money already, so it don't really matter with him. But like, it's
CMC when he was on Carolina, he was hooping, but
kept getting injured.
Where the wins at?
Wasn't really contributing to wins. Gets on the 49ers and they was hooping.
Yeah, they was hooping because they got a loaded roster.
Exactly.
And see, that's the thing. Like, you can't put all the onus on the running back. Like, if you're gonna pay him a lot of money, like that's just a recipe for disaster. Unless your team is just stacked to the bone. Like, you can't just keep thinking, oh, this is like 2001, like Ravens, whatever, where you have Jamal Lewis running for 2,000 yards, and you can just let Jamal Lewis carry the offense and then have the defense sort of do their thing. Like, no, you can't do that no more. It's an offensive-heavy league, and you need to throw it. You need to air it out. You need to have top-notch receivers. And nowadays, the running back position, like it's definitely
it's complementary now.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, running backs are important.
They are,
but they're replaceable. That's the thing. They're easily replaceable, and because they're easily replaceable, their market is going to be bad. wide
Simple
receivers,
supply and demand.
yeah, wide receivers on the other hand, they're not as easily replaceable. Like you have then again, like you can find a wide receiver in the draft. I will say that, but wide receivers impact the game on another level that you need. You're gonna need like a top notch wide receiver if you want to like Jamar Chase.
Let's put it into this perspective.
Yeah.
The gap between a Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill is bigger. My bad. The gap between a Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill type receiver versus like a Amon Ra or a T. Higgins type receiver is a bigger gap than a Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb versus someone like Breece Hall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, yeah, the running back position, it just seems like it's getting...
Is it getting too saturated?
It seems like a lot of the running backs, I don't know, man, the days of, like, the LTs and the APs and the Emmets and all them, the Berries, like, just dominating, willing their team to victory, I think those days might be over. I don't think you can really do that anymore. You have to air it out. You have to have a good passing offense. It's just not doable. It's not consistently doable, in my opinion.
And for the simple fact that if I'm a GM and I want to do roster construction and I'm like, man, we were pretty weak in the run game last year. My first move would not be to go get an elite running back. It would be fix the line.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because if you fix the line, anybody can run through a great line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great running backs will get through mediocre lines, but, like, why would I build for the short term instead of getting a line that I could sign all of these guys I have most of the tandem for, like, 10-plus years?
You're right. Unless you're Trent Richardson, unless you're that bad. Then I don't know if a elite line will help him. but yeah, you're right. Like you look at the Eagles with Ken Gainwell and those other running backs.
Miles Sanders made the Pro Bowl.
Miles Sanders and
Miles Sanders had 1,000 yards.
Yeah, they had all these different running backs they would just go to. And
Boston Scott.
Oh my God, the Boston Scott Memorial games, man. They be what like crazy. Yeah, man, running backs like that you look at and you're like, they're still in the league. Like how? And it's like, oh no, because that offensive line is making them look. Making them look good. I did not make a face. Anywho, but yeah, the running backs, man, they're replaceable, man. They're really replaceable, and a lot of these running backs are finding it hard. They can't really find a job, or they think they should be earned more money than what the market bears. Like Dalvin Cook, he's saying, "Oh, I want to win. I want to go to a team where I can win a championship." Okay, well, yeah, there's plenty of teams that will want you, but how much money are you asking for? How much money is your agent asking for?
That's a funny statement too, because most championship-ready teams have guys that are getting paid a lot of money already, so they can't really afford to like fork over even more money, or they have upcoming contracts that's way more important to pay than a running back.
I just hearing these guys say, "Oh, I want to win a chip," but then going and like, "Oh, they're demanding this amount of money." Are you sure you really want to win a chip? Because logically speaking, no contender is gonna give you that amount of money. They don't have the flexibility in order to be able to give you that amount of money because they have to pay these other guys, right? Because they have other great players. So, do you really want to win a chip, or are you just trying to get paid? That's just how I look at it.
I will say, the one team that's probably more in the wrong than right for not paying their running back is probably the Giants.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he was like the heart and soul of that offense for like majority of the season. He's been the number one offensive guy ever since Odell left. And they just was like, okay, we'll give you this amount. Take it or leave
like
it.
$13 million.
Yeah, they probably are the one team they probably should have gave the money to.
I agree.
But like Austin Eckler, come on now.
Yeah, you gonna have to take
Josh
that
Jacobs, really, this is your
One-
first
one-
year
one
of
great
really
year.
being like that for
Yeah,
real.
one great year, and then it's like, oh no, I need to get paid. Like, bro, no, you better take that 11 million, 11, 12 million, and get out of here. Cause what is he like 26, 27? Your days are almost numbered, brother. I'm just saying.
And we're not saying that running backs are wrong for wanting to be paid, but you can't really go out on these public platforms and they're essentially like openly chastising every GM in the league that don't want to pay running backs. Like, that's you hustling backwards. You can't publicly shame a GM to paying you. That doesn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't work at all. The only way they can get they can get these GMs to finally cough up some money is all the running backs go on strike. Do what the Writers Guild Association and the Screen Actors Screen Actors Association they doing. If you're not willing to do that, then you're screwed. Pretty much. Like, oh, Derrick Henry, he's going to go on Twitter and say, oh, running backs are getting screwed after you got paid. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear your thoughts, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Bro, you got paid. Like, what? How about you and Saquon? How about you sit out? Hold out. Sit out with Saquon. Go on strike. Then you'll make a point. But going on Twitter and saying, oh, running back position is getting screwed, ain't nobody trying to hear that. You got money, bro. You got money. You're set.
What you saying? It's like a billionaire complaining about the economy.
Facts, man. Come on now. Oh man, taxes. I'm getting taxed 10%, bitch. You're a billionaire. Get out of here with that. You need to get taxed 10%. Kidding me? With all the money, you getting all this money and stuff, man, you crazy. Yeah, running back position, it's like the power forward position in basketball. Like, it's damn near non-existent. Like, it's not needed as much anymore. People don't really value it as much anymore. So, I don't know how they have to do something in the CBA. They already made an agreement a few years ago, but they have to do something where they have to meet certain qualifications in order to get these incentives to boost their salary or something. There has to be something there.
They need something to where a running back contract only counts a certain percentage to the cap. They need to do something. Because teams would definitely pay these guys if only 50% of the contract counted towards the cap.
Or if the running back is getting paid, let's say a low amount, right? And they outperform and they get a percentage raise because they outperformed what they did the previous year. They got to do something because it's getting ridiculous.
Or if players drafted running backs for a second contract, they need something. If they can figure out how to negate some of that money from the cap space, then I don't think any team would have a problem paying a running back.
I think the worst thing for running backs is definitely the fact that the franchise tag exists. That's the worst thing. Like, wide receivers, they can maneuver past it, but running backs are the biggest. Like, they're definitely being held by that franchise tag, and they have to. I think the franchise tag is the number one reason why running backs are getting held. Like, if the franchise tag, let's say the league says, okay, you can only use franchise tag for these positions, but you can't use it on a running back. I think that would help somewhat. I don't think it would help, in the grand scheme of things, but I think that should happen where, okay, you can't use a franchise tag on a running back. I think they should start there because right now it's getting unfair. Like, franchise tagging a running back when they only have so many years, like a short shelf life, that's not fair.
Yeah, I agree.
Get rid of the franchise tag for running backs. Either you re-sign them to an extension, or they just hit free agency, or you just trade them away. I think that's what should happen. The whole NFL system is flawed at the end of the day. So transitioning, I